Alright, hello, this is Connor, and I'm going to be showing you my multiband compressor plugin with mid-side option. So first let's go over the block diagram here. The first stage is the pre-volume. This way you can drive into the compressor or let off of it, however you wish. And the second stage is the MS encoding option, which if you enable it, will also tell the compressors later on how they should work. And once you enable it, you choose to process either the mid or the side as a multiband compressor. And the way that had to work through the spectral processing is I couldn't just bypass the filters with whichever was not being processed. Let's say we wanted to process the mid. I couldn't just bypass the sides because the filters mess with the phase of the signal. So I tried that first, but when they recombined, they sounded really weird. So basically what I did was, since each compressor is set up as two compressors for a stereo signal, I did everything the same way with mid and side, replacing left and right. And depending on whether mid or side was selected in the compressors, it would go, everything would go through the filter, but it would only process the mid or the side through the compressor. That way they're all affected by the same phase shifts and all. And when it reconstructs, it sounds pretty much the same as the input. So if we go into the spectral processing, it's a bunch of filters with split points, produces 4 bands, and each one has an enable, which is, it's also convenient that the entire MS signal is going through this. So if you have only the low band enabled, you can only hear low frequencies, whereas if you were to bypass the filters with the mid or the side, you would hear a combination of, let's say, the filtered mid and all the unfiltered side. So it helps make decisions more precisely there. And then this block represents 4 different compressors for each band. So each compressor would have a ratio, threshold, makeup, and attack and release. And yeah, and the compressors get their information on whether to process or not based on the MS encoding part of the plugin. And then after that, it goes through a decoder if it's enabled in the first place. If not, it will just pass through these both and just do a normal left and right processing. And then the last stage is post volume, which is pretty self-explanatory. So let's get into it here. So the first thing I'll demonstrate is just the enable buttons here. So there we have just the lows, just the low mids, just the high mids, and just the highs. And if we listen to just the lows, I can demonstrate the filter as basically a band selector. And let's just do it without the mid side to start with. So I'm going to crank the output a little bit just so we can hear. Ooh, that's loud. So here we have kick and bass. So you can see it's working on that. Pretty sensitive. You know, we could do a similar thing to each band. So this is pretty much, it's a good mastering tool, which is why I put a whole track in there. So let me demonstrate the whole mid-side situation, which is kind of the main feature of this plugin. So to enable it, I hit mid side. It doesn't sound any different, which is really good. That means that all the phase is lining up and everything. So since I have it switched to the mid, you see the left meters are representing the mid. So it looks like this section of the song really doesn't have much wideness, but it's cool because you could compress just the center of the lows, or if we wanted to, I could choose the sides and actually bump up the sides of the lows. So if you hear that, that's just the mids. It sounds like the kick and stuff. So that's all the sides of the lows. So that's a cool effect, especially if you apply it to the high frequencies too. So there you're getting a lot of only the wide highs are being bumped up. And I could apply that to the mids as well. There's a little out of hand. Or let's say we wanted to compress just the mids and the high frequencies to get out of the way. Maybe give it a longer release. So you can choose either mid or side to affect. And then maybe I could compress the mids on the low frequencies as well. Oh, that's the end of the song. But I think I showed pretty much everything. I wasn't going to go through every single knob. But yes, that's the GoldenMultiPressor. Thanks for watching.